A pleasure to be here with Manaswinee Mahanta. Ma'am, welcome to the Kolkata Literature Festival. Very soon you're going to be part of a session on A Fistful of Moonlight. So if you could hold up the book for the camera. Yeah. So these are stories about Assam, about Assamese people translated into English. So my first question is, as part of the session, what are you most looking forward to? What aspects of the conversation do you want to put forward?
uh, Basically, every time whenever we talk about translation, we have this tendency to say loss in translation. Probably with this particular session, we are trying to focus on how can we gain from translations, because if you look at India, obviously India is a land of diversity. So obviously in every culture they will have different amount of stories, and obviously there will be connections. Both these connections and diversities that will be reflected in our stories, and with translations that will get delivered to other readers from other part of the world. So from this session, probably that is what I will try to focus on, and also probably that is what I would love to hear from other panelists. Yeah.
Wonderful. Talking about your book, A Fistful of Moonlight, you've contributed sections to it, stories to it. Tell us about these stories. What are the themes or the ideas that resonate across these stories that you have contributed yourself?
So, A Fistful of Moonlight, it is the project was coming up from yeah, Untold UK and B Books India, and obviously British Council has supported this project, and the primary focus was on gender. So most of the storytellers, they dwelled upon gender from LGBTQI angle, and also from women perspective. And if I'm allowed to speak about my own experiences, I always do write, not only in the story from this book, also in my other stories. I always try to narrate those experiences that I have experienced as a woman with this body in a society which is highly misogynist in nature. So probably the other writers also are also doing that. That's why we connected. That's why Project Writersome is like at the end of the day, the project came up only because of that fact, because we connect as someone who were suffered or are suffering still in this society which is highly misogynist in nature.
My final question is about your short story collection, the anthology that came out last year. So tell us a bit about that and tell us about what it focuses on, the subjects and the ideas.
Gender, but gender is a like that's a huge terminology. So I primarily focus on gender and the folktales, and how you can deconstruct those gendered perspective of folktales. If you look at Indian folktales or even folktales from any other region, they are highly misogynist in nature. All those folktales speaks about witches, never someone who is counter. What is the I don't know what is the counterpart of a witch, male counterpart of a witch. All these stories, somehow we imbibe those stories. So our perspective, our philosophy gets narrated like ages after ages with those folktales. So always try to deconstruct all those folktales. I try to bring about. That's why my short story collection's name is Sampawati Nokoi Khojai Ghorkon. Sampawati is a folktale character from my land, and in the folktales he was given a home, or not a home. Actually, it's a house, but the folktale says it's a home by her husband. Why can't Sampavati can build her own house and eventually can arrive at a home? So that's what my idea of writing, like as a whole. Yeah, that is it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a great time at KLF.
It's my pleasure actually.